Hey everybody, I'm Invisiblekatana, and a couple of days ago on April Fool's Day, Rooster Teeth gave us some pretty big news for a new version of RWBY. I didn't find out about this until yesterday because I'm not really always up to date on my stuff, and I probably, like a lot of people, I probably would have thought it was fake even when I first saw it. But they actually did release a lot of cool stuff, Red versus Blue and stuff like that. But for me, wanted to talk about RWBY because I love RWBY. Of course, we just ended Volume 3. We currently have a manga which should be coming out with its 4th chapter this month, I believe. And, now we have this new series, which I'm very excited to see. And I wanted to do this because I wanted to know what you guys thought it would be like, what stories we'd be getting. Obviously, we know it's going to be chibi, so it's going to be really cutesy and funny. I think what it's going to be like is very similar to Avatar, obviously The Last Airbender, not the movie. Be a lot like The Last Airbender with their chibi shorts, which kind of just threw all the characters together into a bunch of different situations. And I love those little chibi things from Avatar. Those are some of my favorite things. And I actually just watched one that I realized I never even saw before. And I love those. Those are really funny, and it's just like they had all the voice actors in them and stuff, and they'd be in like all sorts of different situations. They'd be at school, and all the characters would be students, except for obviously like the much older characters. And we get to see all sorts of situations, and I'm hoping we get kind of a blend of that. I'd love to see tons of those situations. I'm curious how they're going to do the environments as well, because we have our chibi characters. So are we going to get to see them in class, which we haven't seen like at all this most recent volume? So are we going to see them and there'd be like really tiny desks and just silly stuff like that? I'm kind of curious if that's how they'll do the environment. But I'm really looking forward to it. Like I'm sure a lot of people are, because I can't wait to see what they do with this. Because of course RWBY is a good blend of kind of the comedy and drama, especially with the last volume definitely adding in a lot more of the drama. But I want to see a lot of this chibi stuff come up, and I'm very excited for it. We only have to wait 1 month, which is very cool that they did that. So a lot of people were wondering if they might include at least some of the shorts on the Volume 3 Blu-ray as well, and that might be why it hasn't come out yet. But I'm curious. I don't know if they'll be doing that. Maybe they'll save it a little bit, because they might have so many currently in production that it won't be on Volume 3, on the Volume 3 DVD or Blu-ray. But I'm very excited for it. Like I said, I kind of made this little thing just to ask, what you guys think it'll be like, what stories we'll be getting. Definitely want to know who you guys want to see in these chibi shorts. For me personally, I would love to see characters that haven't really interacted too much. Like we finally, this volume, obviously spoilers for the most recent volume, but we finally, after all these years, got to see Blake and Adam officially in a scene together, which was like my dream since the trailer. And we've had that scene now, but now I want to see them in a silly situation. And I'm wondering if we'll get that, because now that Adam's come into play, we've seen how dark his character really is. Like, they kind of hinted at that a little in the trailer, but when he showed up in that episode, it was like, man, he is a million times, darker than I, initially thought from the trailers. So it makes me wonder, like, will we get to see lighter sides of these characters, or will it still be a little bit darker, or will it be a nice blend? I'm assuming with it being chibi, we all kind of know how that's going to play out. Most likely it's not going to be super serious like the actual episodes. But I am curious, especially with characters like Adam, because he hasn't had a lot of screen time. How much will they be giving some of these newer characters? Like, we haven't seen much of Neo, really. We've seen her in 3 to 4 fights, and that's about it. And of course she doesn't speak. So I'm very curious how they're going to do that, and, her eyes changing colors and silly, random stuff like that. It just makes me wonder what they're going to be doing with some of these characters, because we have so many people within this world, and we still don't know a lot about a lot of these characters. And of course, with the loss of a recent character, I'm very curious if Pyrrha is going to be showing up in this, and I assume that she would, but it just makes me wonder. I would love to see that, though. It would be like a really happy thing, but also make me kind of sad, obviously. But I would love to see Pyrrha come up, and maybe they do more of the silly relationship stuff. Once again, that would also make it a bit sadder as well. But maybe we get to see more team dynamics. Maybe we'll get, I guess, more Team Cardinal. I don't know. But maybe some of the other teams that I actually care about. Sun's team, I would love to see some chibi stuff for them, because we don't really know anything about them. I would love to see them, even if it was in chibi form, I would love to see more semblances from characters where it's like we don't know what they can do. Even if it's in chibi form, I'd love to see that. Maybe some chibi silly looking chibi fights, I would love to see that. But I'm really looking forward to this. I'm very curious how long the episodes are going to be as well. I assume they don't, they'd only be about maybe like 5 minutes a piece. But I'm kind of going off of the Avatar thing, like I said, because when I first saw it, I was like, oh, the first thing that came to mind was The Last Airbender, and just how all that stuff was. It was just silly little stories where they just threw all the characters in. But they might not do that. This could totally be an actual series where we get another side of the universe. We really don't know at this point. I'm just assuming it's going to be, the characters that we know, and it'll be a bunch of little side stories, which kind of fits in with what the manga is doing. If you guys haven't checked that out, it's a monthly manga that's being made in Japan, and it's considered canon, so definitely check it out if you guys haven't already. It's really good. And so far, they've really only gone through like the trailers, but they've kind of added some little extra details in there. This month is actually going to be talking about Blake, which I'm very excited for. But maybe they'll be doing some stuff like that. Maybe it'll be canon, maybe it won't be canon. And that's kind of what I'm looking forward to finding out as the series, gets closer to its air date. But definitely want to know what you guys think about the news. Like, your first reactions to this announcement. Mine was like, this is going to be awesome, because the show obviously has tons of comedy in it. And I think this volume is where they definitely went more towards the serious side of, the show, and, where things are going to be going. But it definitely had its comedic moments, without a doubt. But definitely the previous volumes have been much lighter compared to this one. And I don't mind that it was darker. It made for probably like the best, it definitely made for the best finale out of all three of the volumes for sure. And, best episode even before a finale because of what they did in that one. So, yeah, I don't mind it getting darker or anything like that. But I do love the comedy. They do great comedy in the show. They do, obviously, references to all sorts of stuff within Rooster Teeth. They'll do references to stuff that haven't even come out yet, like X-Ray and Vav was in RWBY. It was in the episode where they were in the library playing basically when they were playing Yu-Gi-Oh, when they were playing the card game. It was in there, like Jean was reading the comic and it was X-Ray and Vav. So they have all those little references where it's like, here's something that's coming up and we don't know that it's even coming up. We just think it's just a picture or something random. So they have all sorts of stuff that they can do with it, and I'm really looking forward to it. Of course, we have RWBY in theaters coming up at the end of this month, and then, beginning of next month, we have a brand new version of RWBY, so I'm very excited for it. Like I said, if you guys have not read the manga yet, definitely check it out. It's kind of it's just like stories in between. You definitely have to have seen the series before reading the manga, because it's not a retread of the show. It's like, it'll start in one place and then it'll jump to something totally different, and you have to know who the characters are and what's going on and stuff like that, because otherwise you'll be totally lost, because you won't know anything that they're talking about. They do give some explanations to some new things as well. They actually reveal new forms of Grimm inside of the manga as well. So if you haven't read it, definitely check it out, because there is some really deep explanation that they don't go into, they don't give as much detail in, through the normal series. So definitely check out the manga if you haven't. Like I said, though, I definitely want to know where you guys are as far as this series coming out. Or, are you excited about the news? Are you not too excited about the news? Do you think the stories will be canon? Do you think they'll just be, kind of like Avatar, they'll be random shorts in the weirdest of situations, which I wouldn't mind whatsoever, because I don't know about you guys, but I would love to see it if they just threw everybody in school and that was just like one of the shorts. I would love that, because that would be really funny to me. It would have to be like, just with all these characters, there's no way that could be wrong. Like, that would just be hilarious to me. So definitely looking forward to what we're going to get. I would love for them to be like 15-minute episodes, but I feel like they won't be, especially with the chibi form. I think they kind of just works in like little chunks, but we'll just have to wait and see. But like I said, I want to know your thoughts on this, so please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.